All right, let's start with the Browns. Guys, Kevin Stefanski has been squarely on the hot seat. We've talked about his future here. There have been some that have, in the media, that have just come out and said, yeah, it's time for him to go. Now he wins last night's game, but even before the game, and maybe he coached a little freer, I don't know, the reports were from guys that we know and trust that he is completely safe. And some reports said Andrew Berry being completely safe. What do we make about the future of Kevin Stefanski here with the Cleveland Browns? Jason?
I thought you're going to start to see over the course of the next few weeks and couple of months the Mike Vrabel tour, because Mike Vrabel's trying to get back in. And the Browns are very much backing this. He's going to be on the Manning cast tonight. You're going to see stories popping up about him coming up. And the Browns are supporting getting Mike's name out there because he wants a job next year. He wants to get back in. The only way I thought Kevin could be in trouble is if they wanted Mike Vrabel. And if that was the case, the Browns would not be supporting this.
You're right.
So that told me, even before any reports of yesterday, they were going to stick with Kevin Stefanski because the Browns are supporting putting Mike Vrabel out there to get another job next year. So I'm not surprised at all. You can I think you can build a sturdier case for bringing Kevin back than you can Andrew. The case to bring Andrew back, I believe, is a little bit flimsier than the case to bring back Kevin.
Yeah. And Albert Breer was one of the people who said at halftime on Amazon Prime that they'll both be back. Now, it's early. Things can change. If the Browns lose every game the rest of the season, could that change? We'll see. I've never loved the idea of firing Kevin Stefanski. I had come around on the idea that if they brought in a new GM and he absolutely wanted to change the coaches, I was okay with it. But I think the right call ultimately, to me, is finding another GM to pair with Kevin Stefanski. Right. But it sounds like, at least as of right now, the plan is to keep it steady. And as much as I'm not a big Andrew Berry fan, and this season has been overall a disaster until last night, there is something to be said for continuity.
Listen, I believe that when you have seasons like this, you find out how good you are and who you are when you're going through trouble or adversity. You don't find out much when you're winning games and you're sky high. I'm going to find out, and we're finding out more about Kevin Stefanski this year and right now under this situation than any other time that it was last year. The Browns came out against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and people talked about them potentially giving up or quitting. We talked about it all last week. That didn't happen this week. Myles Garrett came out ready to go. He played one of his best games of the year. Jameis Winston rallied to the troops. Nick Chubb, who we'll talk about later on, 2 touchdowns after being on the field injured. I think you showed that Kevin Stefanski has a grasp on what's going on. Now, guess what? We're week to week. Anything can happen. There's a lot of different people that'll come out and say, Jay, I don't know. They got beat 3 games in a row. And there'll be some people that say he needs to go. But I think that one thing is I'm positive about the evaluation. And he's going to get that evaluation period. I think this is a good sign for him and Andrew Berry that they did win a game like that against the Steelers.
I know Bull doesn't put much stock in the Coach of the Year award, and I'm a bit of a skeptic too. It does seem to go to the coach of the moment, maybe the coach that came out of nowhere, had a big surprise. But I do think that Kevin Stefanski is widely regarded by his peers to be in the upper echelon of coaches. Is he top 5? No. Is he top 10? You can make a real case for it, even though the playoff record and success isn't there. Is he top half? I think absolutely. And in a league that turns over about 8 coaches a year, that means you only have to go 2 years before you cycle half of the head coaches out of the league. In the past, the Browns have made the mistake of moving on too soon. Way back, Bill Belichick. And there was a lot of things that went on there. But I also think in the recent set of examples, from a player standpoint, they moved on from Baker Mayfield too soon. Bull said something, there is something to be said about continuity. I couldn't agree with that more. I think you have the coach figured out. Now go figure out the quarterback and the general manager. Those are the 3 tent poles to a successful organization. There's 4 of them. The other one is the owner. But I do think that they've got the right guy. And I'm with you, Jace. I don't know about Andrew Berry yet, but I think I do know on Kevin Stefanski.